롯데 팬 사랑이네.
네, 롯데 팬들 사이에서는 퓨처스리그 서튼 감독님 체제 이후에 롯데 육성이 눈에 띄게 달라지고 있다, 발전하고 있다, 이런 얘기가 많이 있습니다. 올 한 해에도 우리 선수들 많이 성장시켜 주실 것이라고 생각을 하면서 인터뷰를 해보겠습니다. 이군 감독이 되시면서 그때 이제 뭐 챔피언십 컬처, 위닝 컬처라는 단어를 많이 사용하셨는데요. 작년에 이런 것들이 좀 많이 확립이 됐는지, 지난 시즌을 평가하신다면 어떻게 평가하시는지 궁금합니다.
So the biggest thing that we were able to establish last year is belief. Belief is the heartbeat of a championship culture. And so helping the players and the coaching staff understand, well, how do we train belief? Everybody wants to win. Everybody talks about winning, but how do we train and instill belief? And we have to start with confidence. And so everything that we train builds our players' confidence. Everything that we coach and teach builds our training staff's confidence. And that's the major heartbeat of what we do.
올해는 더 발전하기 위해서 어떤 것들을 조금 더 보강하실 계획인 건지, 그리고 아까 봤을 때 이제 스텝이나 선수들과도 굉장히 편하게 지내시는 모습이 눈에 띄었거든요. 코칭 스태프 그리고 선수들에게 특별히 강조하고 싶은 부분 어떤 게 있을까요?
It's a very good question. Last year we were able to implement the data. We were able to implement the technology. We were able to develop and help the coaching staff understand why we're using it, how we're going to teach it, and being able to teach it the what part to the players. And so now we have a year of understanding of where the players understand how they're improving by using this. This year's focus point is going to be more of a sniper focus on how do we teach and take the data and technology to make individual player plans, make it more specific to each player that identifies their strengths so that we can continue to build those in a quicker way. Build their strengths in a quicker way.
성민규 단장이 이제 오고 나서 상동의 장비들이 많이 향상이 됐다, 많이 교체가 됐다. 그런데 뭐 어떻게 바뀌었는지, 이런 것들이 활용이 얼마나 잘 되고 있는지, 아까도 제가 와서 보니까 뭐 드라이브 드릴이라고 해서 이제 구속을 높이는 뭐 그런 프로그램도 새롭게 하고 계시던데 어떻게 진행이 되고 있는지 궁금합니다.
Yeah, so we've implemented the driveline program. We've used Rapsodo both on the pitching and the offensive side. Rapsodo. We're using blast motion. We have a VR program for the offensive side. We have a VR program, and then the blast motion as well. On the pitching side, we're using the Edgertronic, the Rapsodo, and more importantly, we're using the TrackMan data that every stadium has. So every stadium and every team is using similar types of technology, but I think what separates us is how we're using it to teach. And so being able to understand it, number one, is incredibly important. Number two is how do we teach it to the individual? So you're going to be a different pitcher than somebody else. How can I use the data sets to teach you your strengths, where somebody else might have different strengths? And I want to be able to use the technology and data to help each player with their strengths.
이런 장비들의 보강이 미국의 마이너리그와도 좀 이렇게 비교해서 생각하시는 분들이 많이 있더라고요. 감독님께서 보실 때 미국의 마이너리그, 지금 한국의 퓨처스리그 어떻게 좀 비교하실 수 있을지 궁금합니다.
So there's a lot of similarities where players want to work hard and they want to get to the major leagues. Coaches are trying to help players get to the major leagues. There's a lot of similarities. I think in the United States, they've been using technology for maybe 8 to 10 years now, a little bit longer than the KBO level, where technology teams are starting to use it now. So they might be on a faster pace of understanding and how to use technology, where I think the KBO, all the teams in the KBO right now are understanding what technology they like and what they don't like and how they want to use it. So in that case, it's incredible. So now it's just what separates teams is who can teach it the best. How do you train with it? I think is very important.
감독님께서 선수들과 워낙 잘 지내시고 이러기 때문에 유망주들의 콜업 시기를 뭐 어떻게 좀 판단하시는지 감독님만의 기준이 있으실 것 같거든요.
Good question. So, in my opinion, I think there's two important reasons to look at that tells us that a player is ready for the next level. The first one are the statistics. At the end of the day, results do matter in this instance. Players have to show a consistency of competing success. So it doesn't mean that a player has to be number one in batting average or number one in RBIs, but he does have to show a consistency of success. That's number one.
Let's go to the number two.
And number two, you got it. Number two, which is more important to me as a manager, as a coach, I want to see players that are able to make adjustments. If they can make adjustments from game to game or week to week, they have to be able to make adjustments to have success at the highest level. The great players in the major leagues, in the KBO, in Japan, the great players, they're able to make adjustments pitch to pitch or inning to inning. And that's what's going to help them sustain their success to be able to play there. So players having the ability to understand what the game is teaching them, they can make adjustments quicker.
작년 이야기를 좀 해보면 이제 오윤석 선수의 사이클링 히트가 정말 팬들의 마음속에 뇌리에 박혔습니다. 이렇게 콜업에서 실력을 발휘한 선수들에게 이제 감독님께서 해주는 뭐 특별한 이야기가 있으실지.
Well, the encouragement that I would give is what I would give for a player going up or a player that's coming back down. It's the same thing. They've worked hard and they've developed routines that got him the opportunity to compete for a job for the first team. That's number one. So what's helped the players, our young players that have gotten the opportunity, they've learned how to prepare, they've learned how to execute, and then they've learned how to review each day. They do that with their training and they do that with their games. That's how they continue to get better. People that say that once a player gets to the first team level, that it's not about development, every day is about development. That's what's called playing experience. So Lee Dae-ho, he continues to get better even though he's played for 17, 18 years. He continues to get better. That's called playing experience. How does he do that? So players that are going up, they learn how to prepare, execute, and review, and then the next day they get 1% better. Players that are coming down, I share the same idea. How did you prepare? How did you execute? And what did you learn? How did you review? So what do we need to identify to get better at so that we can get better to go back up?
감독님도 저희 인터뷰 한번 리뷰하실 건가요?
Absolutely. That's how I get better.
네, 알겠습니다. 그리고 이제 기사나 이런 것들을 보면 감독님을 부를 때 선수들이 뭐 친절한 서튼 씨 이런 식으로 부른다고 하는데 요즘에는 감독님을 선수들이 어떻게 부르는지 궁금하네요.
Kind Sutton. Most of the players, they call me Papa. It's incredibly important that we develop relationships, and so with all the players that we have here on the Futures team, they're away from their families. And so I feel an obligation, not to be their father, but I have an obligation to help develop them into men, where they're going to become better baseball players, yes, number one. But how can they continue to be better men, better husbands, better friends, better sons, to make better decisions in their life? That's my obligation to help mentor these young boys.
I think every Papa wants to be cool. You want to be cool?
I try to be the coolest I can in this generation.
I can teach you some cool words.
I need some cool words.
Really?
Yes.
되게 잘하고 있는 선수들에게 알려주면 좋을 만한 부산 사투리를 알려드리고 싶습니다.
Please, teach me.
Yeah. 살아있네.
살아있네.
Yeah. 살아있네.
살아있네.
That is really cool.
Am I saying that with the right accent?
Yeah, right.
살아있네.
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 Yeah. That's
Okay.
perfect. 마지막으로 말씀을 드리고 싶은 게 뭐 챔피언십 컬처, 위닝 컬처 이런 것들이 선수들에게도 중요하겠지만 이제 롯데 팬들도 보면서 뭔가 이 경기가 이길 것 같다 이런 생각을 하는 것도 굉장히 중요하다고 보거든요. 어떻게 생각을 하시는지 또 그리고 롯데 팬들에게 한마디 해주시죠.
The Lotte Giant fans are the best. For me to be able to experience the Lotte fan base as a coach now is just the same as when I was a player, playing 3 years in the KBO. Coming to play in Sajik Stadium as a player, to be able to feel that energy, where the fan base is singing Busan Karmagi, that song, you can just feel the electricity and the energy here. But as a coach now, even living in the United States, I've been able to meet Lotte fans outside of Korea. The fan base is a global fan base, and that's what excites me the most. It's not just here in Korea. So I see how just as passionate they are as the fan base here in Busan. Think about this way, in our roster, we have 25 to 28 players, but the fan base is that extra player on our roster where the players are drawing the energy. It gives them that motivation, especially when we're playing at home or playing on the road. The players can draw off that and feed off that. I'm hoping that through these COVID times and the coronavirus, I'm hoping that the stadiums open back up so that the fan base can come back and enjoy the games. where the players can also enjoy the fans, that interaction. It's very important.
열정적인 인터뷰 감사합니다. 오늘 마지막으로는 롯데 팬들 살아있네 이렇게 얘기하면서 마치는 걸로 하겠습니다.
Lotte fans, 살아있네.
살아있네.
Very nice.
감사합니다.
Thank you.